In this video, we're going to break down the nerf to the AUG in the Season 2 Reloaded update, or the lack thereof. This whole update has been very lackluster because even the FFAR1 never saw a nerf in this update, and there's so many weapon balancing opportunities that were missed. But like I said, in this video, we're going to break down the AUG specifically. If you enjoy weapon comparisons, weapon breakdowns, and overall tips and tricks for Warzone, subscribe to the channel as I try to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and also click that link in the description and follow us over on Twitch. So the first thing I want to show is actually the patch notes, and the patch notes you'll see on screen just now. And like I said, is only based around the AUG because there wasn't any other weapon balancing done here. So it does state that the AUG's base recoil has been increased. Now we did test for this and I'll show that later on in this video. Cold War weapon unlocks appear properly, that's not really too important. The suppressor will now display the correct pros and cons, that's not really too important. What is important though is the cavalry lancer barrel now increases damage done to vehicles. Now we never actually tested for this in this video because no one really cares too much about damage being dealt to vehicles. You're mainly focusing on the kind of damage you can do to enemies and all that kind of stuff. Smooth variable zoom scopes will now properly mount on walls. I mean, that's probably good, I guess. Fix some ADS firing issues on scopes. I don't think this was any problems with the AUG specifically, so I don't think that's going to be a problem with this gun. And then the last thing we did test was fix the bug where some Cold War barrels are not having their intended effects. So this means they've probably changed some of the values for the barrels, and again, we did test for this. So moving on into the game now, what you can see on screen is the Cold War AUG, and the first thing we tested was all the barrels. Now, we tested all the barrels for mainly bullet velocity because that is the most important thing, and I do think they would have changed this, so that is why I tested for it. And on screen now, what you'll see is the values for bullet velocity for all the different barrels as well as the base weapon. You can see the base bullet velocity 634 meters per second. The bullet velocity on every other barrel aside from the strike team and the task force barrel are pretty much exactly the same as the base weapon. And then the strike team barrel has the fastest bullet velocity at 872 meters per second. So that means the strike team barrel is still the best. And then the task force barrel does give you a bullet velocity bonus, but it does state in game that it hurts your recoil, so you don't want to use a task force barrel, especially if they have increased that recoil like they said they've done. But the strike team barrel seems to be the best because it does give you a fire rate bonus, an aim walking movement speed bonus, and also the bullet velocity bonus, as you can see. And it does give you a con to effective damage range and aiming stability, but again, we all know that there's no damage drop off with the AUG. So then the next thing we tested was the underbarrels. Now we did test this in a previous video, so we actually had stats for a before and after for this, and you'll see that in just a moment. But the underbarrels we tested was the front grip, the field agent grip, and the SFOD speed grip, and we also tested the base weapon as well, all for recoil. And on screen now, what you'll see is a before and after. The before is on the right hand side in white, and the after is after this most recent update in yellow on the left. And as you can see, there's pretty much no change to recoil with the Cold War AUG whatsoever. You can see that the field agent foregrip is still performing the best in terms of controlling the recoil, and the other attachments do pretty well as well, but there's pretty much no change whatsoever when it comes to the recoil for the Cold War AUG. As you can see, nothing has changed in terms of the stats for the Cold War AUG, and also nothing has changed in terms of its dominance inside Warzone. It's still the best long-range weapon. And to be honest, even if they did nerf this gun and it wasn't that viable at long range due to this recoil change, the M16 would just take its place. But nothing has really changed anyway because the recoil is still as good as ever. So in terms of the class setup for the AUG, you still want to use that agency silencer for the sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. The barrel, like I said, is still the strike team barrel. You get the bonus in the fire rate and you get the bonus in the bullet velocity. The underbarrel is still the field agent foregrip, as you've seen from the recoil chart. The ammunition, some people choose the 45 round drum, I choose the 45 round speed mags. We've done testing on this in previous videos, and providing nothing has changed, this is still my favorite. And then for the optic, you still want to use that axial arms 3x optic, and that is still the best class setup for the AUG. Nothing has really changed, like I said, so if you are still looking for the best long range weapon in Warzone, is definitely the AUG. And this is very similar to that DMR nerf we had a while back, where the first nerf did pretty much nothing, and then they nerf the gun into the ground after that. So I do think we'll probably get a weapon balancing update again, maybe sometime next week, and that will balance the AUG. But I do think we need that balance to also happen to the M16, and we do definitely need a nerf to the Gallo as well as the FFAR1. I think those two guns are more dominant in Warzone than the AUG is. But like I said, we do need this weapon balancing update to come out very, very soon, because this meta is getting really old, and on top of that, people are getting bored of Warzone. But if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. Also, click the link in the description and follow us over on Twitch. We do want to reach our goal of 100 followers over there as well. And thank you very much for watching.